headers and footers. Okay, so we're going to go into page layout over here, and in here we have page setup. This little arrow that comes out here, highlight on there. We come up, and here's our page setup here. So we've got our page, our margins, whatever. We're going to go into header footer, and we can custom the header. I've already written into here something there though, but let's go like that. And in the bottom there, I'm going to custom the footer. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do the things in here. I'm going to go page 1 for sure. Let's just go and do that one there. Okay. I'll custom the footers. That's custom headers and footers. Hiding and unhiding rows and columns. Okay, so here's our columns in here. Into the BCD, let's say, dragged it across, so put my thing into there, and then kept my finger on the left mouse, dragged across, right click edit, up comes our menu in here, there's hide, and I'm going to go to the columns afterwards, outside it, and then right click again, unhide. And in our rows, highlighting our rows here, right clicking, up comes our menu, hide, either side, right click, unhide. Okay. Hiding and showing formulas. So I'll put a formula into here, equals A3 plus 100. Yeah, cool. And at the moment I've got it switched on to, let's get this back. So that's that was a date that we had there. Let's go into here, format cells. Let's just get that back to numbers, shall we? Okay, so it's a formula, and you can see this in the formula box in here, cell A3 plus 100. Yeah, so it's 1,100 there. But let's say I wanted to see that this is the what is the formula in there though, and I want to see the formulas in the whole page. So I've got two things that I'm going to use here. I'm going to click together. I'm going to click the control key. I'm also going to use that little graph sign there. I'm going to use those at the same. I'm going to click, press those together. So I'll put my finger on the control key first, and then keep your finger on the control key and press the little graph key like that, and up it comes there. And you can see that I've got an equation here, and I've got an equation here, and I've got some hard-coded numbers in here that I put in. So that is hiding and showing formulas. And if I want to undo it, I put my finger on the control key, and I press the graph key again, and that hides it. Now, why did I do that? Well, in real life, you use this because let's say you got a file extractor and they're producing a cash flow statement and they're a bit sneaky. So they want to bend their numbers because it's not producing what they want to do. At some point, they get rid of all the equations that are driving the cash flow and highlighting that we're running out of money, and they just type in a figure in there though, and they cheat. And the way that you sort of spot that really is that you just switch the formulas, to show the formulas. You have a look at the sheet and see where the thing's been hard coded in, and you can highlight that the file extractor has been cheating. So switch that back. Now, it does sort of slightly mess about with this spreadsheet formatting a bit. I don't really like it, if I'm being honest. Right, so hiding and showing formatting, inserting data, rows and columns. So we're going to insert some columns now. So here we are, here. So we've right-clicked into our row line in here, right-click again, up comes our menu here, insert. So we've got insert and delete. There's insert. Right-click again, delete, click on, into our columns, right-click, insert, and then right-click, let's delete it out. Okay, so that's inserting and deleting data, rows and columns. If I highlighted this here, I'm going to insert that like that. I'm going to come down here, right click, and then I could insert copy cells. Yeah, so that was. Then when I'm going to insert copy cells, I'm going to give me some answers on what you want to do. I'm going to say shift the cells down. Now I have to be honest, I don't like using that one. I find it a bit. I'd rather just insert the rows first and then put it in this. I don't really like to mess about with it too much, if you're being truthful. That's insert rows. No, that changed. Yeah, it's kept up to date. So that's inserting data, rows and columns. Okay, inserting fields in the header footer page. So let's go back into our page layout. So we're in our page layout tab in here. We've got our page setup here. header footers. Okay. So that was where our header footers are. And we're in the bottom here. So this is where we're starting to talk about inserting pages of. So let's say it's page 1 of 1 that we wanted to have. That's the requirement there, though. And then when it's on to page 2, we'd have page 2, 1, whatever. And that gives us our footers here. Let's go to our print. There. We can see our print preview. Size come up. And there's our print preview. In this instance, it's page 1 of 2. Let's just come. I'm going to go into view here, page break previews, and let's see what's going on here. See, there's 2 pages there. So this is page 1, this is page 2. And then if you go back into our print preview, there's page 1 of 2. And there's page 2 of 2. Okay, so that's how it would look in. Right, let's get back into. No, I'm going to make that bigger and stay in. I'd quite like to stay in the page break previews for the moment. Okay, so we've inserted our fields in the header footer page. So we've got time. What are we going to do? Locking and unlocking cells. Okay. So we've got our cells going on here, and we don't really want anybody to be mucking about with it. So we're going to say you're not going to be able to go into those particular cells in here. So we're going to right-click. We're going to highlight the cells that we want to have locked here, and right-click into it. I'm going to format there. Okay, and up comes our format cells tabs, and we got protection here. Now this at the moment is locking everything that we want to have in there. So it's locked, and this is set. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out of that. Let's highlight the whole thing, the whole sheet. So if we want to highlight the whole sheet, is this little triangle here. Go into our format cells here, and we'll switch the whole lot to unlocked. Okay, I'm going to switch it off. Not sure why that slid to the right. To me, that then. Nice. I click format cells, and we're going to switch those particular cells to locked. So first of all, we have to do is we have to switch which ones we want to be locked and which ones we want to be unlocked. And so that's how we do it. We shall play around with that. Okay. We're going to file. And then we're into file here. We got protect workbook. Okay. So we can protect our current sheet. We can also restrict the access. So let's go, and we can encrypt with the password. So there's a password to open the workbook. There's one for protecting sheets. So we're going to protect sheets in here, and we're going to put some password in. And so what that's going to do is we're going to allow users this worksheet to. Well, we're not going to let them. Oh yeah, so it's select lock cells. Okay, so we now locked it. Oops. Let's make a very simple 1, 2, 3, 4 password in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Right. So at the moment we've let them go into it. Now let's go into that again. File, protect workbook, protect on sheet. So we switch our protection off. Then we're going to go back in, protect that country, and we're going to switch them off. So people cannot use that now. Okay. And now you see we're not allowed, we can't, no matter how hard we try, we cannot get into these cells. We've locked them. Okay, so they've now been locked. So you can't get into it. I can go into all this stuff, I can type over here, but I cannot, and I can protect this formula. So people can't go in and muck up this spreadsheet. So that's what it's meant to be used for. So let me go back into that and unprotect it now. So file, into our protect worksheet here, protect the current sheet, and I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to unprotect it. Yeah, so now we get back into it. That's locking and unlocking cells, merging cells. Okay. Let's try to shift this across a bit. Okay, so we want to merge these cells together in here, so they're going to be one big block. Okay, right click, format cells, and where we are here, alignment. Into alignment in here, and we've got various options here. So we've got wrap to text, and what wrap to text will do is instead of going across cells, it will keep it all within one cell. We'll do that in a second. Let's go merge cells. You see now it's one big cell. So this is now one big. You can see how when it gets to the end of the cell, it's going to go into the next cell. So let me move this across a bit. You can see how it's now going off the edge. Well, I want to have that in there. So I'm going to right click in here, format cells, and wrap to text that. You see how now nicely within that cell. That's merging cells and a bit of a bonus of wrap to text now. Naming and renaming worksheets. So file, save as. So save as and whatever you want to put it in. So that's just saving a file in there. So naming cells and ranges. So I set up a range here. So you can see how, watch this. This here is the name of the cell. So there's cell B1. There's cell A1. Watch out what happens now when we're in here. This is range 1 here. So what we can do is I'm going to come over here. Cells over here. Okay. And I want to name this as a range in here. So it's formulas, define name in here. So in the formulas, define name here. Up comes this name in here. I'm going to call it range 1. No, range 2. Okay. So give it a name. It refers to these cells here. That's okay. Right. And I'm going to put an equation here, equals sum of range. Okay, so it was added up to 8,000. Let's just put that. See that. There we go. You can see the equation. The other reason for the control in the little graph. Okay, so I can do that there. It's a sort of a method of doing the equations. I must confess I don't like it, and the reason why I don't like it is because when people use this in spreadsheets, it's very hard to then trace back exactly what. So you see this sum of range 2 there though, but it's over here in a massive data. Where the heck is range 2? So it's quite a difficult sort of thing to go and find. What you can do then is you can then sort of double click back and come back into it. So it's a way in which you can sort of take you back to that particular point. Don't know, I don't really like it, to be honest. But I can see why some people use it. Right, so we've done naming cells and ranges, password protecting the worksheet. So we've seen that just recently. So in the protect the workbook, into here, we can protect the current sheet as we've had, so locking and unlocking cells, but we can also protect the entire spreadsheet. So now to be able to enter this workbook, you've actually got to put a password in before we open it up. Okay, page access. We're into page layout, and we've got our orientation here between portrait and landscape. Let's switch it to landscape. There's our landscape there, and let's go into file print so you can see what that looks like. And you can see how it switched to landscape now. And that was that. And then switch it back to portrait. So orientation there, and that's how it's for printing. So we go back into our print preview. There we go. Back to portrait. Page setup, adjust the margins. So we're in our page setup here. This is the page, page layout, page setup. And you've got the options here. You can go margins here. Or alternatively, you can click on the little arrow and you can go margins there. Those are the two options. This one's when it comes up in this one here. So there's custom margins. So you can go two ways to get into that one. Either come up with a little arrow there and go into this setup, or you can go into here. In an exam, they'll probably say set the margin at a particular amount. So custom margin in here, and we'll have the left at, I'll go for 1. And the margins like that. So what happens is the margins are just the little amount on the left-hand side that you have before you get actually into the spreadsheet. Okay, print scaling. go into print in here. Okay, and we can scale our print, so we can shrink to fit on one page. And you can see how it shrunk it back into there, got it all onto one page. So we got our scaling is here for one side, or alternatively, we have it here in our scale in here. And now let me go back and switch that off. That's one page, no scaling. And instead we can have a scale here. So we're in page layout, and here's our scales here. And we're going to reduce this, try and fit it into the one page. 55, 60. Okay, so that now fits on the one page. Just as you can sort of see that little line here. So when we're in view page break previews in here, we can sort of see where the actual breaks of the page are. So we go back into our page layout and our scale, and let's reduce back down. There we go. So you can like have a scale of 60% of the size or whatever else it is. Print screen and the snipping tool. So print screen it'll be on your keypad. You'll just have a look at the method of print screen. So if I go print screen here, and then I'm going to go into another sheet. Ooh. There's my screen there. So I pasted the screen in. And now just in terms of what I did there as well, in terms of additional sheets, if you want to add in sheets, you add them in like that with the little plus sign. If you want to delete that sheet out, right click actually in the sheet, delete the sheet out. Okay. Print screen is all out. Okay, that's H2P of spreadsheet design and formatting for AAT level 3. See you in the next one.